Hi everyone, welcome back to another cut above with Chris. Just going to whip these specs off, can't see shit. I've got the rear view camera today to see if it makes the image quality a little bit better. If it doesn't, I'm going to try a few different angles, so maybe looking down a little bit, looking up, I really don't know. Anyway, let's get stuck in. I'm using Wickham 1912 and it is Le Bleu. I don't know whether that's focusing or not, I've got no idea. And it smells phenomenal. The reason I'm going for this one today is because I used I used Wickham 1912 Classic 24 for my anniversary shave, and I just wanted to use another cologne scent that just smell incredible. This one is based on Bleu de Chanel by Chanel, and it smells just phenomenal. I've never smelled Bleu de Chanel, but if it smells anything like this, it's an aftershave or cologne or eau de toilette that I would really love to have in a day. Right, brush today is the West Coast shaving, which I'll try and hopefully get a bit better close up of the actual brush itself. I mean, I honestly cannot see whether that's focusing, nothing at all. You can see it, hopefully you can see the engraving on it with this camera, but I doubt it. Lovely knot. Probably too close to the camera again, I've got no idea. Cannot see nothing at all, so this is just literally flying blind. So I've just flipped out the excess, straight into the tub. I think I've got it on video, the correct recording setting. I don't know. We'll soon find out when I get to the end and I'm stuck again in a time lapse and my shave lasts 25 seconds. Oh, scent strength out the tub when it's dry is around about a sort of 3 to a 4. I can smell it. Oh, it really comes out once you get a bit of water in there. I'm just going to dip the tips again. I do like to really overload my natural hair brushes, still sticking with Natural in November. So this brush, it's now the 19th, is it? 19th today. It was my anniversary yesterday, so the 19th today. So I've got 11 more days, I think there's 30 days in November. I never know. I think there's 30 days in November, so I've got another 11 days and I can finally whip out a synthetic again. Right, that's way overloaded. Wipe the face. I'm just hoping the camera's picking up this and hopefully better quality. Right, slickness already just on my fingertips is phenomenal. I'll just rub this in. I don't know why I wash my hands first there. As you guys can see, I'm wearing my Manchester United shirt today with Pogba on the back. It was a good victory yesterday for United. Nice to see Pogba back and amazing to see Zlatan Ibrahimovic back. Nearly scored a cracking goal. But I seen a lot more confidence in the Manchester United team yesterday. Even though they went 1-0 down, they came back strongly and they looked a much better force going forward with Paul Pogba in midfield. It was a massive improvement in my opinion. Right, there's absolutely shit tons in this brush. Way more than you need. But I have found recently that there's no such thing in this white shaving as way more than you need. Just load it up. Like the stallion says, load it like you hate it. Load the fucking shit out of it. I've got over 70 soaps in the den, so I shouldn't really be worrying about running out anytime soon. Let's see, I'm not going to be adding too much to the den for the next while, so my shaves will become a little bit samey. Just adding a bit of moisture. So I had my medical and psychological on Thursday. I think it went well. I've got varicose veins in the back of my leg, which the doctors told me to get sorted. He was a bit worried about them, so I shall go and get them looked at. And most likely have to get an operation at some point in the near future. They sort of run in my family. My mum's got a lot of varicose veins, but she had them operated on several years ago and she hasn't had any recurrences, so that's pretty much what I'm looking for. So I do wear calf sort of supports, calf compressions most of the time. Certainly when I'm playing football or walking around a lot. If I'm just in the house relaxing, I don't worry about it too much. Obviously you're at risk of clots and things like that. Oh, that is just absolutely phenomenal. I hope that's coming through on the camera. Like I say, I can see a little bit if I stick my head there. I don't know. Right, I'm using the same razor I used yesterday for my anniversary shave with the exact same blade in there. It's the no it's not, it's the Muhle R89, which is an absolutely phenomenal razor. I don't know whether that's zooming in or not. Beautiful handle, and it's got the Muhle written down the bottom there. I don't know whether you can see. Let me see. Oh, I can actually see if I can. Yeah, there we go. So I think that's focusing all right. So you can just see there. Let's dip it in the water and get stuck in. Now the main reason for using this razor again today was just to see whether I can use it as a daily driver, because it's not a super efficient razor. I would say it's slightly more efficient, just ever so slightly, than the Edwin Jagger DE89 from memory. It's been a while since I used it, and it's not as efficient or as aggressive as the Mirka 34C. The 34C that I had was actually quite an aggressive, efficient razor, way more so than what most people say. But I do really enjoy, I love the way this just sort of falls into the right angle. The Razor Rock MG90, which I love, sometimes you've just got to angle it just a little bit just to find the angle, but this seems to just fall straight on where it's supposed to be. And luckily, so far I've put a blade in this 3 times now, and the blade alignment just sits. I haven't had to adjust it yet. I know I will at some point, because it doesn't actually, there's a little bit of movement. I've just been lucky. But long may that luck continue. But I have to say, I'm really, really enjoying these daily shaves. I've not been having any issues with ingrown hairs or anything of that such at all. Scent on this soap is great. Absolutely great. Right, I'm just going to empty the water out of the sink just now while I'm lathering. So this brush is the West Coast shaving brush. They were doing a special on them for $60, I think $63 American. It's got a tie-dye as the colour of the handle, and it's the 24mm silver tip, which is an absolutely beautiful knot. It's really, really impressed me. when you're getting results like that. You can't really argue with the brush. It's phenomenal. It really is. Beautiful face feel. Right, cross grain. So this is the, I don't think I actually mentioned the blade. The blade that's actually near is a Kai blade. This is the second use because it was used yesterday. Now if you haven't used the kite blades before, they start off just ever so slightly rough, that first shave, and then the more you use them, the sharper they become, believe it or not. They actually start off at the sharpness of a Derby, or an Astra SP I think it was. I think it was a Derby. And by the time you're on to sort of your third and fourth use, you're up there with the sharpness of a feather blade on its first use. So it's quite an amazing blade. It's a bit like the vintage, it's like the wine of wet shaving, or of razor blades, where it gets better with age. So when I'm using the rear camera on the iPhone, this is the iPhone 7, when I'm using the rear camera I generally have it running on 4K. Now at the moment I can't upload to YouTube in 4K, I don't know why it doesn't give me that option. So I just upload it in 1080p, but because I'm using the 4K setting, I've generally got a better quality video, even for the 1080p. Great soap. And the scent on this one's just beautiful. It's nowhere near as nice as their Classic 24, but Creed Aventus is my favourite scent on any aftershave now. There's nothing beats it in my opinion, from what I've used in my history of aftershaves and stuff. It's just phenomenal. I see that many people posting saying, oh, what's the best version of Green Irish Tweed and Aventus and things like that. And all these people posting up like Ginger's Garden and Shaving Shop, even Wickham, which I do still mention now because the Wickham soap Aventus, the Classic 24, is so close to the scent of my real Aventus aftershave. But ultimately, the only way to get the best scent and the best longevity is to buy Creed. And let me tell you, I put that on around about 4 o'clock on Friday afternoon before we went to the ballet, and it was still very strong at 9 o'clock the following morning. My shirt, which I wore on that night, on Saturday night, so the following day when I got home, was still strongly scented with the Creed Aventus. It's just phenomenal longevity, and it smells incredible. Certainly a good bit of blade feel, good bit of blade feel with this razor, I have to say, which I'm actually quite enjoying. It's not a dramatic amount, but there's just enough to make you think, oh, be careful, don't push it too much. It certainly gives me a closer shave than the MG90, without a doubt. Obviously that bit extra blade exposure, a little bit more efficiency, slightly more aggressive. In fact, it's quite a bit more aggressive than the MG90 if I'm honest. Right, fourth lather. I've just been informed today that pretty much Badger here doesn't actually split its ends, but they can hook and things. Now I have had a look at my Morrison Fondren, not 3-band blown Badger, and the ends on that are definitely split and hooked. So it must obviously happen to certain brushes with a certain grade of like hair fibre, but I am seeing little splits on right on the tips of some of these and on the tips of some of my Manchurian. Nothing like the Morrison Fondren, and certainly nothing anywhere near like the hooks and splits on the 2-band finest TGN on my Cannabis and Richardson. Last pass, just a pick up all over the place. Literally nothing left here. It's impressive little razor. I definitely find this one, even though I can't really remember too much using the Ebon Jagger E89 or the Merca 34C, it's been a while. I don't remember either of them being as smooth or comfortable or giving me as good a shave. I mean that's phenomenal. Post-shave moisturisation from the soap alone is absolutely shit hot. It really is beautiful. Right, Humphreys Cucumber Melon, probably too close to the camera. Let me see. That's still recording. What am I doing? How much battery have I got left? I don't know. I just had a warning on my camera there. No doubt I'll screw this up now. There we go. I think it's still going. I hope. Let's see if I can see this now. Humphreys Cucumber Melon. Sorry about that. Give that a good splash. Okay. I know when I've had a good shave, when I don't get too much of a feedback from the Humphreys. Humphreys tends to give me a little bit of feedback. I don't know whether it's an allergic reaction or what, I really don't know. Just cleaning the brush out now. and as you can see that is completely cleared out. I don't know whether that's focusing, I think it is. Yeah, beautiful old brush. There we go. I'll just rinse the soap out now while this is drying. Still drying, so what we'll do is we'll have a look at what I used. So that was Wickham, let's see, 1912, the Bleu, and it looks like that in the tub. And there's the ingredients there, whether you, if you can see them, I don't know. Come on, focus, you piece of shit. There we go. And this was batch number 106. He's obviously a very busy man. Oh, it smells incredible. The brush, as you've already seen several times, is the West Coast Shaving tie-dye. Really stunning 24mm, densely packed silver tip, so it doesn't feel floppy on the face at all. It's got good backbone. It does really, you know, I mean, it's just a great brush. It really is. Really enjoying the natural hairs at the moment. Muhle R89 with the second use on the Kai blade. It's just a really impressive little razor. I've got a little weep of there. I did go a little bit more around the lips, but other than that, literally no irritation. Just phenomenal. Humphreys Cucumber Melon, which has pretty much dried in, and then we'll just finish off with a good splash. Not got much left now. You can see the two different colours here, hopefully. Nivea Two Phase. Give it a good shake and it goes that colour. Ever so slight, just like that. It's almost like individual pores that were actually burning there. That's, I could almost count them. It wasn't like a massive rush of pain anywhere or anything like that, but as you can see, that does make your skin really glossy because of the glycerin. I think it's quite high glycerin content. Protecting Care, cheap well to activate. Not got much left in that one. I've got another bottle as well. Cares like a balm, refreshes like a lotion, and it really does. That's the menthol kicking in right now, and it feels incredible. And let's say it's a little bit oily and greasy at the moment, but it does absorb. If you leave it, absorbs, your skin feels phenomenal for the rest of the day. It's easily one of the best products that I've got in the den, considering that it's mass produced from Nivea and it's not an artisan made product. It's really excellent stuff. Artisan stuff is very similar. I don't know what it is with this and how it's made up, but it works exceptionally well. And other than that, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. I hope this video's worked out alright. I hope I haven't got any daft time lapses or anything going on, and that little bit of a hiccup when the battery died. I'm still recording, so I'm assuming my battery's still okay. I'll catch you guys next time. Stay safe, drive safe, don't drink and drive, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.